Hello, BookTube, and we're back here for another Sunday Live, and Brandy's here, and yeah, say hello.
Hello.
So it's September already. I can't believe it.
Is anybody on?
It says zero, but that doesn't mean anything because it takes so long for it to show up.
Right. Well, we can just wait a few and talk about whatever. We can talk about dinosaurs. Mm.
Reminds me, because I was watching, like I've seen most of them before. Was the Ray Bradbury Theater because it's free on the Freebie thing.
Hmm.
And I remember reading a lot of the stories and seeing a lot of the episodes. And I really think sometimes they shouldn't make things from short stories. It's just sometimes the short story works as a short story, but not anything else. Oh,
Yeah.
now we've got people showing up. Aaron's here.
Hi, Aaron.
Jenny's here.
Hi, Jenny.
And Mark's here.
Hi, Mark.
Randy's here.
Randy.
And Andrew's here.
Hello. I don't know
So
Andrew, but hello.
there's more people putting up comments than there are saying, "Oh, now it says five." Okay, and I'm going. There's only four people it says that are watching, and I got four comments. Usually, it's the other way around. So yeah, so it's September, and uh, yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah. I
And
can't believe Book Trek is over. And I only read like 7 Star Trek books and a portion of one.
I didn't read any. And
Hi,
the other Mark here, Mark, we got Mark and Mark.
Mark.
That's because we aren't real. So yeah. Now there's six. So that's actually right. This is the first time I got six comments for six people. Oh, now it's jumped up to eight. So come on. The other two are gonna have to say something. Uh, but yes, yeah. August was bad for me after going into the hospital. I didn't start reading till halfway through, so I
Yeah.
really only finished two books. But one of the books was quite massive.
Well, do you want to talk about your books first?
If you want, yeah. Just this over September snuck up us. I need to read that Patrick Stewart bio. Yeah, I watched your video. Well, I might as well because Mark's brought that up because I was going to say that because you said he talked about growing up because he grew up in Yorkshire around where I'm here, like
Mm-hmm.
in the sort of Yorkshire area,
Yeah.
and but I'm not sure exactly where. But yeah, because I remember him talking before that he used to have a Yorkshire accent. So
Mm-hmm.
that I could just I try to picture that him doing Captain Picard with a Yorkshire accent. Mm,
Yeah. Mm.
no, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. After I was in the hospital, it took me a while to get back to reading, and I really the main thing I read. Well, I'll tell you the other short one was this. That's easy to hold up. Uh,
Yeah.
and we did a video on that. So if anybody's interested, there's a video with myself, Aaron, and Scott Danielson, and we talked about this and previous month's story. Now the other book, oh, is this volumes one and two, The Mysteries of London. It was serialized 1844 and 45, I think. Um, and it's a Penny Dreadful, based on not based, but copied off of uh, copied off of Eugene Sue's Mysteries of Paris. Started talking about all levels of society of the city, and this one does. And I have to do a video, I think, on it, but
Yeah.
it can't be detailed because he just goes. The sprawling stories. There's dozens and dozens of characters who appear, and then you forget about them in a sense. And then 300 pages, they pop up again. You go, oh yes, now I remember who that is.
Yeah.
And it's always with an eye of the poor, as opposed to the rich, and why they're poor. And clearly, anybody who is an evil person, a bad person, gets their comeuppance in the
Mm.
end, as well as the ones that get bad endings and they're good is because they're poor. Um, that's basically it. Alex is
Well,
here.
when you were talking about that first volume, that sounded like a really interesting story. You were talking about the older guy who married the younger woman and all that stuff. But then
Yeah.
when you were talking about the second one, like I can't even remember now what you were saying about the second one because it didn't sound very interesting to me.
Well, it was just a continuation of the same thing with a lot of the same characters, but there was lots of other storylines that they brought in. You know, marriage stuff for people trying to get married
Mhm.
uh, in the more richer families, and even Queen Victoria shows up as well as Prince Albert because a boy sort of sneaks into the palace and listens to her. But because Queen Victoria was ruling at the time, I guess he couldn't say he wouldn't say anything really bad about her. It was just like she was being fed of saying, "Oh, that there really aren't poor people." It's like, "Oh, I'm assured that these people are the just making stuff up in a sense that they're not really starving. There's no one that's starving in England and stuff like
Oh
that."
wow.
So, but Jenny says, "Yeah, not even good in Simac." So, and I see another comment coming up, but there's no need for to say it yet, other than Star Trek's been mentioned. So I always have to say Babylon 5. But oops, I did. Currently reading Probe by Margaret Wonder Bonanno. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that.
That it's a Star Trek book.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I definitely have to mention Babylon 5. But even if I didn't, if I read your comment, Mark, it would be Babylon 5. Looking forward to reading September from the Shepherd's Calendar, John Clare, uh, and Babylon 5 resonates with me. Yeah. Do like listening about space wizards and laser
Oh,
swords.
Star Wars.
But there's the mage. No, what is it? Techno mage in
Mhm.
Babylon 5, where
Yeah,
are they, they, they use they use science to create magic,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
have body implants to do that as well.
yeah. I did see that episode. That was one of the episodes I got through.
Brian MR is here.
Hi,
Hello.
Brian.
So yeah, no, the Mysteries of London is quite interesting. It goes on like these two volumes are 2,300 pages, so
Yeah,
it does go on a bit. But it was fun. There are a few times that I'm going, okay, you've done that to death. Let's move on. Let's move on. But in comparison to Mysteries of Paris, I enjoyed Mysteries of Paris more because it was a bit more faster paced, even though that was 1,400 pages as well. Uh,
yeah,
Half the length, and it dealt more with sort of more of the underworld area of London, of Paris, or and this does here, but it's all over the place. And then it's supposed to be Mysteries of London, and in the second volume, they go to Italy to fight a little war for a
oh,
duchy.
wow.
So that's not quite, you know.
All right.
But yeah, and also too, it's like throughout is the person will ask, tell me your story. Yes, I will tell you my story. And then there's a whole 30 pages of bibliographic material of how they got
Nice.
to where they are today. So, but yeah,
Wow.
I want to continue with it.
Well, do you like the Mysteries of Paris better?
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, I do like it a bit better because it's not because it's shorter. It's just it's a little more faster pace, and the characters in there were more distinct. Like the one character, the bad character in here was really good. Was the Resurrection Man,
Mm-hmm.
And he was really good because it starts out where you think he could be a bit charming, but you find out that he'll do dirty deeds, but not always dirt cheap. But he'll do anything. He'll do anything if somebody pays him. Like he's
Wow.
to murder a woman's servant, which there's a whole backstory to this. But she says, but you've got to do it in such a way. He's going to blindfold him, take her to the place, and then it's going to be in a darkened room. He's going to kill her, and then he blindfolds him again, and then he takes the body out and puts it into a little pond. But he doesn't know where he is or anything like this. He's started being led, but it's like, hey, you're paying. I'll do it.
Wow. Nice.
Let's see here. Mark saying laser sabers cut everything except other laser sabers.
Yeah.
Aaron said Jenny Parks, that's Doctor Who, Star Trek is the one that has time traveler going around in a police box. It's magic. And yeah, Mark book time with Alice say he enjoyed Mysteries of Paris too. Yeah, no, it's something that I'm not sure if I would reread Mysteries of London, but I have actually reread Mysteries of Paris. So Mysteries of Paris I would probably reread again, but not Mysteries of London. But I do want to go on to the second series of Mysteries of London, and then read through all the others, and that's like another 8,000 plus pages for the whole story.
8,000. Wow.
Well, I think so because there's a 20-volume set of the Mysteries of Courts of London, and they're 500 pages each, larger
Wow.
print. So yeah, it's got to be 8 to 10,000.
Wow.
Oh, now, like these are fighting words in a science fiction sort of.
They definitely are. Well, we're going to stuff Jenny in a closet. Yeah. Yeah.
So what did Ninja read this month?
Do what?
What did Ninja read this month? You might as well go like some other booktubers who class their pets as reading with them and read.
Right. We won't say names. Well, Ninja Buddy read the first Brother Cadfael chronicle with Mark Richardson. When I picked this up, I thought this was going to be similar to Agatha Christie, where you have like a detective monk, you know what I mean, who was going to be solving crimes. But that is not how it was at all. I mean, a murder happened, but he just happened to be there, you know what I mean, to take care of the situation when the murder happened. So it was different than what I thought it was going to be. But I ended up really liking this. So I thought this was a lot of fun. I'm going to continue on this series. I will admit, though, the first 50 pages or so were boring. It took about 50 pages for it to get interesting for me. Have you ever read the Brother Cadfael Chronicles?
No, I've watched the series. I do want to read them sometime, and then
This was good. I really liked it. Yeah, I've got the next one on the way from Blackwell's. So
I'm just gonna put Mark's comment up here first. Jenny says, as long as I have my Kindle, I'll go where I'm told. Have Kindle, we'll travel. So
nice, yeah.
Mark says he loved the first 50 pages of it.
Yeah. Mark, we never did end up really discussing this. Like I gave you my thoughts, but then you never came back and said what you thought. Did you finish it?
He hasn't finished it yet. He hasn't finished it yet, I bet.
Well, I'll go on to the next book while we're waiting. The next book I read was The Dragons of Eden by Carl Sagan. I really liked this a lot. This is super outdated. Super outdated. But wow, was it fun to read. Carl Sagan's writing is so engaging. What?
Well, it's connected. It's connected.
How is it connected?
Well, because he talks about the racial memory, like the genetic memory.
Right.
Dude. Yes,
Right.
it's entertaining, but that's how it works in Dune.
Yeah. Look at this cover too. This cover is awesome.
Yeah,
I love
it's
this
got the
cover.
aesthetic. I love that book.
Yeah. This poor copy is so tattered, but it was so cheap. And oh my gosh, this was so much fun to read. I really recommend this. Anybody who likes these kinds of books, man, this was a good time. It was a good time.
Uh,
And then let's see.
let's pause for a second.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
What's Elvis been read, Marky? Is he a smut fan like Olive? And Mark said he hasn't read it yet. Okay, go ahead. I'll leave the other comments for a moment.
No, you can go ahead. Let's do the
Okay.
comments. We don't want to get behind it.
Mark's been reading the first Perry Mason novel. Oh yeah, you did mention that in a message. I never addressed that because I love Perry Mason stuff. It's just a formula. Like he's just got a checkbox that he goes through every story, But they're fun. They are really fun. I really
were they books before they were a TV show?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he might have been writing them still when the TV was on. So I'm assuming he did the stories first, but there might be some that are the other way around. I'm not 100% sure.
I didn't like those kinds of television shows. I never could stand to watch like Murder She Wrote or any of that stuff. But I like the detective novels. I like them as novels.
I never watched Murder She Wrote, but I love Perry Mason. Like there was something with Raymond Burr, I guess, was character, because when he did Ironside too, it was like that's fun too, and it shouldn't be, but it's good. Andrew said he still needs to read Children of Dune. Yeah, I haven't finished it, so I haven't counted it for August. I still got like 75 pages to go. So anyway, he's a bit of a classicist.
Guess no smut for Elvis.
You need to re-educate him.
Cute.
I'm at the end of the comment, so yeah, continue if you want to.
Okay. Well, okay, so I don't like comics or graphic novels, but I'm always trying them, thinking that, I have found one graphic novel series that I like. But another one I tried here was this Werewolf by Night, because I liked the movie so much. I loved the movie. And so I thought, well, let me try one of these new Werewolf by Night comics. But I bought the wrong one. This is not about the character. I think his name is Jack. It's not about the main character. This is about some other werewolf. So I got 18 pages in and I just couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand it at all. So I was like, and look how thin it is. And I couldn't get past the 18 pages. So I quit reading it. I'm like, nope, this is gonna, either I'll send this to somebody from BookTube who wants it, or I will put it in a litter-free library. That was terrible. And then I tried to read Interstellar by Avi Loeb. I've had this book for, I don't know, 2 years or something. In case you don't know who Avi Loeb is, he is that scientist who thinks that Oumuamua was probably a piece of machinery that was a remnant of another intelligent species. That was his opinion of it. But anyways, I was very interested to see what he had to say about it. I thought that that's what this book was about, and it wasn't. There's really not much science in this book whatsoever. It's essentially, I didn't finish it. I got like 70 some pages in. All he's doing here is making an argument for why we should be spending money to look for intelligent life. And he did have some good points, but I don't agree with them. And also I don't care. I don't care. I was interested in the science, and wasn't a book about the science. So that was a no-go. I quit after 70 some pages.
So it wasn't a big dildo then, a technology thing, a big dildo.
What?
Well, I was going Freudian on it because it's cigar shaped, so it was a dildo.
Oh, actually, it was pancake shaped, sir. It was pancake shaped. And then I felt a little discouraged, and so I went to fall back on a tried and true author that I can always depend on to deliver a good book, and that is Carl. I almost said Carl Sagan. Carl Safina. And I started Beyond Words, but then I was enjoying that, but then I got really, really distracted by the Dracula tape by Fred Saberhagen. So I have that on ebook, but I have the second book in the physical copy. Look how awesome the cover is. The Holmes Dracula file. It's beautiful. Absolutely love it. So the book, this is going to be a stand-in for the first one. And I absolutely love the Dracula tape. Loved it. It was fantastic. Great fun. Sean, you will like that. You should definitely read that. And then I continued on to the second one, which is where I'm at now, is the second one. And then I've also started another book, which is The Map That Changed the World by Simon Winchester. And I'm really enjoying this one as well. This is really good as well. And the dust jacket unfolds into a map, by the way, which I think is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, he did the history of the OED as well. That other book, the OED one, is really good.
Nice. And that's it as far as what I've read and what I tried to read.
Brian was saying, I think a few of those Sagan speculations.
I know. Yeah, I had a lot of fun reading that book. Some of that stuff you're like banging your forehead going. I was just like that through some of that, but I mean, you can kind of see where he got these ideas, some of them, but yeah, the book's really, really dated for sure.
But it's a great book. It's like I want that one I want some of his others, but I want that one. It broke his brain. That's what I like. Randy says you like, and I'm not sure. I've lost the thread of that comment.
Yeah. What is that, Randy Ray?
And Bryce says I won't speculate what's
fueling low. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that guy. I mean, I don't think he's like a quack or anything. I mean, but I just he's overly optimistic. He's overly optimistic. I'll just say that. Overly optimistic.
I'll just jump to Mark here. He says he's got to run and help his wife with
bye, Mark.
Pot mums. Okay. Randy Ray says the Dracula books are from excuse me, from Saberhagen are great. Yeah, I've read 3 of them, I think. I have read the Dracula tapes and 1 or 2 others. But I'm not sure which other ones, but I really like the Dracula tapes.
Yeah. Well, I have the Dracula tape on ebook, so I did find a physical copy on Etsy, actually. And so I do have the physical copy on the way, so I have the physical copy and I could put my notes in the physical copy. And then I have the third one as well. So I have the first 3. And I'm going to read those, and then I would like to read more, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes for me.
Yeah, I looked for them again because I think I looked for them when I was reading the Leslie Klinger annotated.
Yeah.
Right. He refers to everything pretty well, but and I thought, yeah, I'd like to get those, and then I just looked at the prices and just no.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, now that I've read the Dracula tape, I'm seeing its influence in other things. Like, for example, it came out a year before Interview with a Vampire did, and they're both that style where a vampire is sitting down, interview style, and being recorded on cassette. And so I don't know if Anne Rice got the idea from him because her book was published so soon after his, or if they kind of had the idea independently. I don't know. But that was a similar thing. And then also, what's the director of the Dracula movie, the Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman? Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola. So that does not follow the Dracula book, even though it's called Bram Stoker's Dracula. But this whole relationship between Dracula and Mina that's not in the book but is in that movie, he probably got that from the Dracula tape, because Mina and Dracula enter into a relationship in that book. So I'm guessing
that's what Dracula say. I'm misunderstood. Bram,
yeah,
I'm misunderstood. I'm a misunderstood. I'm a real good guy.
Yeah. through the whole book. I loved that. That was cracking me up through the whole book. Like he attributes the whole thing to this string of misunderstandings and coincidences and bad luck, And then towards the end, he does some things on purpose to play into the role to mislead, Dr. Van Helsing and all of them. So, but yeah, it was just, and that Mina was in on the whole thing. It was just, I loved that book. It was so good.
Well, it's like Leslie Klinger puts it in his thing. It's sort of as if this is all real, and Dracula did mislead, or purposely or forced Stoker to write differently, to say he was from Transylvania when he's really from sort of the Bohemia area. So watch out, Mark. That's where what's her name from Camilla is from.
Oh yeah.
So, but he had to make sure that nobody would actually come after him, and that he had to die, at the end of the book, sort of, like that, which is an interesting little story.
Yeah.
Jenny's saying bye to Mark, and Mark saying bye. Andrew said, I'm simply misunderstood, and I don't like Brad for some reason. Yeah.
Oh, except for garlic really isn't much of a deterrent for him in the Dracula tape. He just lets them think it is.
Well, I have one viewer that he'll watch. I don't know if he watches live, but he went Mark's not here. He went to a garlic festival in Vermont. And it's like, it's not the kind of place that I expect a garlic festival. Here in the UK, I expect something like a garlic festival.
Right. That's hilarious. I would totally go to a garlic festival just because that sounds like a good time. Just for the novelty of it.
And it's one of the few things I can still taste from memory from pre-COVID. So I love garlic. So if vampires wouldn't like me, if they are afraid of garlic, they'd bite into me and I'd be 90% garlic. Maybe the real Dracula is how Mark managed to get lost in this water.
There you go. Yeah.
I was thinking of that pond when actually from Mark when I was reading the Mysteries of Paris, where the Resurrection Man throws the body into the pond and then figures it all. Anyway, it's a whole story thing, but it's
well, if Dracula really is from Mark's area, I mean, he should be careful when he takes those walks. I mean, how many hours did he claim he was walking around? 72 or something like that. I don't remember.
Well, and at that point it was 5 days he was lost.
Oh, 5 days, right. I love that video. It was hilarious.
But yeah, I don't know what part. Like, I can't remember what part that Camilla is from. Where because it is Bohemia, or am I completely wrong there?
I don't remember. I think
it is Bohemia, but Bohemia is fair size. Yeah, no, it's. I do want to get to those and a few others. Aaron says I'm waiting for someone to do the Dracula tape style. Sorry for Jack. Yeah, that could be interesting. I didn't those women. I just happened to be in the area.
You're right. Yeah. Somebody did one for Frankenstein. And I just recently found it. I think it might have been Fred Saberhagen. Oh, it was Fred Saberhagen. He wrote one like a Dracula tape. He wrote one for Frankenstein. I'm gonna pick that up and read it too.
I don't know that one. It's kind of sounds familiar, but I haven't read it. But he wrote so much stuff, and is he the one that's like, if you look at his translation of French sort of science fiction, it's like longer than you can, you have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll the list. This guy was hugely prolific.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was looking to see what other books he's written, and I gave up after a while. I was like, I can't keep looking at these. I got to go on with my day.
Yeah, he's a bit of a schlock writer, but it's fun. Like he did. He did the Berserker. He created the Berserkers, didn't he? That are basically.
That seems familiar because he did a bunch of series. That seems like it was one of them.
Yeah, the Berserkers are basically Borg.
Really?
Yeah, and so that's how It's a long time since I read any of the books and stories. Oh, okay, no, okay. Carmilla is set in Styria, which is Australia. Okay, yeah. So why do I thinking Bohemia or Bohemia came up in the um in the Dracula one? Is it because he's related to Camilla or Carmilla? But he actually is from Bohemia. I can't remember now. Bohemia came up though in the Dracula one somewhere. But yeah, I can't remember the full connection now. That's the thing. My brain is dangerous at times. So I'll better shut up on that before I dig myself a bigger hole of wrong information. Uh, yeah. So like you're still in the midst of a couple books, and as I was saying, I'm in the midst of this, and it was, I think, was it Andrew? Somebody, I missed that comment. Somebody said that oh yeah, it was Andrew. Still need to read Children of Dune.
Mm.
Um, and it's really good. It's going back to me the style of writing that he did, and the tone of the story in Dune. Dune Messiah is a bit of a strange one. A lot of people don't like it. You didn't care for it when you started it.
Yeah, I can't remember how far I got to Dune Messiah, but I had to put it aside because it was scaring me. I was like, I don't like where we're going here, and I don't want Dune to be ruined for me. So I don't know if I'm ever going to go on. I can't decide.
Well, it doesn't ruin it. It just changed it because to me it's the whole thing is you you think you got a grip on things in Dune, but he takes it in different areas. And in this one, I don't know how they're going to do the movie with this because they didn't they put the twins as late teens. They're 18 or something in the series, in the sci-fi series, but they're only 9-10 years old in here. Like they're children in body, but they're pre-born. They're like Aliyah was, that they were conscious, fully conscious, and for the first trimester, basically in the womb, and so they're adults in children's bodies, and that's going to take some damn good kid actors to pull that off without being pretentious, and
Mhm.
because he writes them as adults, not as children.
Well,
Like
the actress who played Alia in the David Lynch Dune movie, she was really good.
yeah,
I thought she played that role fantastic.
yeah, but to get excuse me, to get like a 9 or 10 year old, well, even they could, I guess they could go to 12-year-olds. That might work, but rather than being pretentious, not like a little brat, like, or to me, it's just okay. I'm gonna offend Harry Potter fans here. Whatever, the female in there was just horrible because she just sort of is all stuck up. Whichever, like she
You mean
was,
Hermione?
yeah. She didn't act like a kid, and it didn't act like an adult. So
Just to clarify, I am not a Harry Potter fan. Just to clarify, I only know because my son grew up reading Harry Potter, and so I know all about it. Just saying.
but anyway, it's going to take some really good acting. Like there was an actress that I like, Jodelle Ferdell or something. I think she's Canadian. She was in, oh, it's a Jeff Bridges film that was made here. It was not anyway here. It was made in Canada.
What was it
Um,
about?
it was about parents being drug addicts and young girl, and she sort of uh, brewing up
Was
the
it
heroin.
Candy?
No, no, I can't think
Oh,
of the name of it now, but it's and I can't even think of his name. The other, the fifth, or the other, the director from Monty Python, and I can't anyway.
mm,
Somebody will come up with that. I know the film and everything, but she was a really good actress, and she is a good actress. She could have pulled that off as being Galena, or I don't know the pronunciation properly. Um, is Bohemia where the Harkers live in the first Hammer Dracula film? Possibly, I can't remember now. Yeah, and behind every man is a terrifying woman. But anyway, where was I?
You were talking about a film that you were trying to think of the name of.
Yeah, no, yeah, for the children, for the twins to be played and children to do, and so they'll probably change them again to adults, 18 or something, or have 18-year-olds play 10-year-olds, and it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
But like it's interesting how he treats them though, because you do have to keep, like, well, everybody thinks them as children because they're child size, like they say the flesh is child, but they're not. They've got more experience than anybody alive other than their aunt. um and so I'm enjoying it, so I'm going to go
Well,
on to
what are
John.
what are you reading in this coming week? Are you just going to finish that and then go on and Dune, or what are you reading after that?
No, I'm going to finish this hopefully like tonight and tomorrow, and then I guess, well, are you starting? And Randy
Oh
is
yeah.
starting, so I might just start that immediately.
Although your copy is way better than mine. I want your copy.
Somebody paid mine's 663 or 660 8.
Pages. Mine is 615.
Okay, so there's uh, more words on a page than, or it's bigger, whatever.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah, I'm excited to read this.
and then I'll go on to this.
Mm-hmm.
That's bigger. That's 800 almost.
Are you going to read The Martians also? Because I picked up The Martians.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy, because I was looking at it, and it's like 14 or 15 pounds for the paperback, and I can get a hardcover for just a few pounds more than that. So I'm going for the hardcover.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'll read it. Randy Ray and I talked about it, and we just decided we're going to play it by ear. We'll see how we feel once we get there if we're going to read The Martians.
Going back to Dune here, like January says, can you imagine sibling rivalry, literally starting in the womb?
Yeah.
He did it. She did it. She did it. Dune Messiah was a little too short a novel for me, more like a novella. Yeah, it has its place, but it's interesting.
I thought it was wasn't it originally like part of Dune, and then like the editors or whatever made them separate it?
No,
No?
I don't.
Okay.
No,
I
not as
thought it
far.
was originally part of Dune. Do what?
Not as far as I'm aware, because it was written. It was written later. I think that. Yeah, by Randy. He's probably gone, but now I didn't see that until later. See you later. Yeah, that's a Jodelle Ferland. She was in Kingdom Hospital, Silent Hill, and Dark Matter. I think she's a wonderful actress, and I first saw her in that movie that I can't think of the bloody name of, by the bloody director. I can't think of the name, but it was all filmed in Canada. It was one that was shocked because it's a child that's injecting her parents or her father with heroin. So people got a little irate at
Wow.
that. But yeah, she is a wonderful actress, but she's too old now to do it, because she's got to be almost 30 now. She's probably in her 20s. She's getting old. But yeah, Mars. Yeah, I'm looking forward to rereading it, and I will say, like, that's the thing, because we were talking, because I've started getting the measure on what you like. You'll like this. There's a lot of technobabble in this, sort of. So
Nice technobabble. You mean so it's like hard SF? Nice.
Tideland. Yes, thank you, Tideland. Yeah, Tideland. That's the film.
Never heard of it.
Most people haven't, and the director, it's like one that sort of flopped for him, but it's a damn good film. But it's weird. Let's just put it that way. It's weird.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I'm looking forward to rereading this, and yeah, I haven't read The Martian. I haven't read the short stories. So
Mm.
and
I
then
haven't
like
read any of it, so this will be all brand new to me.
I then I got to go on at some point because I've been uh well I started like with Matt at Science Fiction Read a year or two ago. We were talking about, or we sort of came up with the idea of picking a couple planets and reading sort of
Yeah.
Mars stuff from the oldest you could find up all the way through. Hey, there he is.
Oh, hey, Matt.
I don't know if you've been lurking, but yeah, but we but we were talking about doing this with Mars, older stuff and reading, and probably ending sort of with Red Mars. And then there's David Hartwell, I think it is. Is that right? Editor who's put two books up. It's called Old Mars, and it's people were writing new stories, but as if pre knowledge of Mars.
Oh,
You know,
uh-huh.
like old style of Mars stories, and he did one old Venus as well.
Oh,
So
that
we were
sounds awesome.
going to read through Venus stuff too, and I had a list of things, and more or less ending probably with Pamela Sargent's trilogy of Venus. She's got apparently really good, and I haven't read that. So
What about Edgar Rice Burroughs' Venus books?
yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, that was going to be on it, and all sorts of stuff like that. But we never got around to it.
What about his Moon trilogy?
What?
His Moon trilogy.
Well, yeah, like I was thinking of doing the moon as well because that would be an interesting thing to do throughout things.
I
Venus,
really want to read that Moon trilogy. I have an awesome edition of that. It's all in one book, and the cover is beautiful, and it's hardback. I absolutely love it, and I'm going to read that in November.
yeah, Jenny is saying, yeah, can you believe that Jadelle is almost 30? Yeah, it didn't seem that all that long ago that she was playing creepy kids. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what she's too old to do this. But
Is she playing creepy adults now?
well, the last thing I saw her in probably was The Dark Matter. One of those others. I don't know Kingdom Hospital or Silent Hill. But you see, the thing that I think that will hold her back from a lot of things is she's Canadian, and I think she still lives in Canada. So that usually for Hollywood and American audiences that may hold back. Oh yeah, Mercury could be another one. Yeah. See, that's the thing. It would be interesting to read, like go through planets like this and read how it was written, like just selective stuff throughout, and it would be kind of cool. It would almost be doing like a Ben Bova solar tour in a sense.
I want to read all of those Ben Bova books. I've been trying to collect them as I come across them.
Yeah, but there's like 40 of them now or something like that. Gola, Maudib. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Um, Jenny saying hi. Gola saying hi. Yeah, so maybe this will spark it off. I've got to get the third book of Pamela Sargent's uh, Venus book.
Have you watched Matt's video that he put up? Have you
Which one?
watched it yet? The newest one where he's talking about Hot House?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think I have to read Hot House now after he was talking about it.
Yeah, it's an odd one. Well, Brian Aldiss is odd. It's like
Mhm.
Matt was saying he read one other, and I can't remember which one it was, and he said he didn't like. And I go, yeah, that's the way he is with me. It's like Hot House. I remember being interesting, but uh, yeah, just weird. Very.
I've got to read that now. I've got to read it. There have been several books that I've seen on Matt's channel that I think I've got to read. Like another big one that I want to read in November is this Darwinia. I found a hard copy of that. I have to read it. I can't. Every time I watch Matt's channel, it's like I drop, $50 or whatever because he's always talking about some really good book I want to read.
Yeah, well, he's reading the good era stuff usually. It's the BS stuff
Mhm.
usually. Darwin, I can't remember what Darwin. Oh, is that the one? Um, I think I know which one it is, and that did sound interesting. Yeah.
Oh, the cover is amazing. At least on the edition that I got. It's a beautiful cover.
Andrew saying John Varley wrote a number of stories set on different planets, and so yeah, there's so many, and that's the thing. It's hard to come up with a a list of to read because you'll overwhelm yourself, or you're always going to miss something that is pretty good. But my idea was try to find the earliest story that was there, move up like almost every decade or something, even short stories, like read some from the 20s, the 30s, and then start hitting some of the novels and some of the bigger novels or trilogies and things like that. And I thought it'd be a neat project to do, and it's still in the back of my mind, but I'm obviously going out of because we're going to end. The idea was to more or less end with this because Greg Bear did one, which I have on Mars. There's
I have that one.
Yeah, there's so many. Like set Mars is like you spend the rest of your life probably reading stories about Mars.
Yeah.
Brian, I didn't like a certain plot development read Mars that strongly hinted Robinson would be maintaining certain characters throughout the entire trilogy. I may finish it eventually. I don't remember what you're talking about there, but what you talking about?
Yeah, what Brian's talking about is he said there was characters he didn't like.
Yeah, but I don't know what the plot development is.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, I wouldn't know. Yeah, I haven't read it yet, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, so but I'm gonna enjoy doing this, and I might
I'm
have
jealous of your copy. I want that cover. I don't like the cover on the ones I have.
Yeah, this is the British. I guess it is is it? Wait a minute. The British edition?
Is this like the new print of it?
Well, it was 2009, so there might be a new one as well. It's a Harper Voyager, the British one. But you see, this is strange. This one is not laminated. This one is laminated, and this one is print on demand.
And the other one is not?
No, the first one, and I think, see this thing, I can't find Blue Mars yet, and I'm pretty sure it's print on demand as well, but for some reason I'm thinking it's a different size. But I might be wrong. I just can't remember, and I don't know where it is. It's bugging me. Might have to buy another copy. That one I can get fairly cheap. But yeah, so that's you've destroyed my September reading because I was going to read like finish up the Harry's Chronicles. This is the fourth one, Vanessa. I was going to finish that and then read this other Penny Dreadful, Ruth the Betrayer, which is another 1,100 pages, and that's with the sinister schemer Enos Earthworm. Yeah, you got to read a book with a character named Enos Earthworm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. But I can't take all of the credit. Randy Ray has to share that with me. So.
Yeah, but yeah. So, but then the other thing is, I'm hoping I can fit in maybe God Emperor Dune, but also to this one. And you're reading this as well.
Yeah, Project Pope. Yeah. Oh, I should have pulled out my copy of Project Pope. I got to dig that out of my closet. It's in my closet.
It'll have that cover on it.
Yeah, that's the cover I have. Yeah. I love the cover.
American First Edition and the British First Edition. In this case, it's a good cover for the American one, and it's got him contemplating.
Nice. I was going to get rid of Project Pope. It's in my get rid of it pile.
Heresy.
But I'm going to read it. Actually, the real reason it's in my get rid of pile is because the cover has been folded back, like all the way down, looks like totally folded back. And so if I'm gonna keep it, I would get a different copy because I don't like the one that I have is too I don't
You
like
can
that fold.
you can buy it for first editions are not expensive to this one. Like for
Good.
$20, $30, you can get a really nice condition
I'm
one.
not paying $20 or $30 for it. The one that I have came in a lot that I paid like $7 for. So,
Well, you can get ones that might have a bit of roughness on it, probably for a tenner or less.
well, I'm gonna read it in the copy that I have, of course, and then if I like it, I'll dig up a better copy. If I don't like it, then I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna get rid of it.
It's got a lot of talk about religion and
Yeah.
philosophy and stuff
Well,
like
we
that.
shall see, because philosophical science fiction is hit and miss for me. So it's hit and
Well,
miss.
that's why
I tend to lean towards the really hard science fiction that covers, scientific concepts, as opposed to, philosophical stuff.
yeah, he doesn't do that generally. The science is there, but it's more technology and sort of revolt against it to a certain extent.
Yeah. Well, that
Uh,
that might be interesting to read about. That might be interesting to read about. I don't know. I like never know about these things until I start reading them.
let's just say that the terraforming of Mars would require a far longer time scale than a human lifespan, unless there was some sort of magic biotechnological intervention.
Well, Star Wars has just such technology. It's called the Genesis Force.
Star Wars? You
Did
just
I say Star Wars?
yes, you did. Jenny's not going to let you
Damn
forget.
you, Jenny! Star Trek.
Yeah, well, that is yeah. Okay, now I know what you're referring to, Brian. Yeah, it's yeah. That's the one thing that I remember. I think having a bit of a problem with, but I enjoyed it anyway. But as I say, it's a long read. But I think all of his stuff. It's the only thing I've ever read by him is this. So I'm looking forward to rereading it because I might start pulling up other stuff by him. It's like Dan Simmons. It was for 30 years that I only read uh,
Hyperion.
Hyperion, yeah, and then I finally picked up The Terror, and now I want to read more. So yeah,
I have the Terror, but I haven't read it yet.
does this mean I win? So yeah, so maybe Kim Stanley Robinson will be another one that I'll
You want to
that
hear
I'll
something funny? I get Kim Stanley Robinson mixed up with Dan Simmons all the time.
no, I
I
think
don't
I
know why.
yeah, not well, maybe because the big books and maybe the complexity of stuff as well. But to me, I always like I probably with the time when I was saying I probably said Spider Robinson to you.
Spider Robinson, what now?
Yeah, he's another science fiction writer.
I don't remember this conversation, but
No,
we.
because when I said, "Oh, you said you were going to read that," and I said, "Oh, by Robinson," and you said I said somebody else, and the only other person that I could have said was Spider Robinson.
Oh, that could have been. Yeah, that does seem familiar, actually. Yeah, now that you're reminding me. Yep.
Wars, Trek, Gate, it's all the same after a while.
You did not just say that. We cannot be friends.
And not only did you win today, you've won for us. Don't forget.
Oh God, I'm never gonna live this down. It's not my fault. In my defense, my son and I were having a very long conversation about Star Wars this morning because I'm going to be reading Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which is a Star Wars book, and I've never read a Star Wars book before. So we'll blame it on my son.
Uh, they need something like the Genesis torpedo, yeah, or do what the great mind of Elon Musk nuke the fucking planet to warm it up. Yeah, right. Let's see here. I'm actually afraid to read beyond Hyperion. I fear that the follow up could only be no, 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 no. It's not. It's see. the fall of Hyperion gives you the background of why things are happening, and then the last two books are what happens because of that,
Mm.
and it takes you forward. It's just it's amazing. Again, it's like Dune. It's like it's Dune is fantastic, but Herbert had a bigger story, and it's not all the full story. It's like there's even hints in it that there's in Dune that the Bene Gesserit, the Kazakh Haderach, is only a part of their plan. So you there's all other things happening, and this describes all those other things. And Hyperion is sort of, you don't really know from the first book, and then you find out the background of why this all happened and what the purpose sort of is, or you think is the purpose, and it explains the first book, and then the third book is takes it forward, and the consequences of what was happening there play out in the last two books. Splinter in the Mind's Eye was a good read. That I know was a Star Trek book.
It is not a Star Trek book.
No?
It is a Star Wars book.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like an alternate Empire Strikes Back. It's like an alternate second original trilogy, movie. So, and I was like, that sounds really good. I want to see what the alternate Empire Strikes Back is like.
Okay, you I just think of that, and all of a sudden the moat in God's Eye popped into my mind. You might like that because the whole starship that's on there, the spaceship, the crew is basically Star Trek crew.
Cool.
It's a really good book.
I think Scott Danielson was telling me about that book, actually. I think he was telling me about that book recently, and it sounded like a book I wanted to read. I'll have to ask him if that's the book he was talking about.
Well, if you did, because I want to reread that again, and there's a couple of sequels, the Moat in God's Eye,
Aaron.
God, I think. What?
I was giving Aaron the thumbs up to this comment.
Ghulam Al-Deeb actually liked a lot of Star Wars prequel era books. Republic Commando. So is that the stormtroopers going commando without underwear? Series was good. Dealt with clone soldiers.
Well, the Legends books interest me. Since I saw Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to read the alternative to Empire Strikes Back. I was looking. I realized it was part of a series of books. Caden's my son, had actually told me about them before. Apparently, I've even bought several of them for him when he was younger, but I don't remember that. But anyways, it's part of a series, and so I was kind of interested. I might start reading Star Wars book, and then I'll have to kill myself. So
Yeah, but you bought Star Wars for like that. That's got to be tantamount to child abuse, forcing them to watch Star Wars.
Oh, Caden was obsessed with Star Wars. He was obsessed with Star Wars. When he was 4 years old, he was playing A New Hope over and over and over. Like, he would sit on the floor because his favorite thing was to play Legos. He would play Legos, build things with Legos while watching A New Hope, and he would just get to the end of it, and then he'd start it over and play it again. And like, he watched that VHS of A New Hope so many times over the years that it has lines in it now from him watching it so much. He loves Star Wars. He's like a Star Wars guy. He knows everything about Star Wars. He's read all the books. He's seen all the Star Wars stuff. He knows all the Star Wars Hollywood gossip. He's obsessed. I'm not switching teams, baby. I'm not. Star Wars is like more for like people who prefer fantasy, So, and I don't prefer fantasy. And Star Wars, I like Star Wars. I like it, but I'm not like super into it like I am Star Trek, because I like sciencey stuff as opposed to like more fantasy type stuff. Star Wars is more about the people and the situations they're in, and the kind of science fiction I like. I like to focus more on like, the the events of the universe and scientific concepts and the technology and all the good stuff. And Star Trek does that, or at least the older Star Trek did.
But yeah, Simak, he does science, but yeah, it's I would just say but I think there's more to it than just that because it's the response to technology. That's the one thing that's or
Yeah.
science. That's what science fiction could do,
The
and it
two
doesn't
books that
have
I've
to be
read, he focuses on the people. He's focusing on like the
yeah,
human reaction, the human
yeah,
aspect of it.
and that's where like science fiction doesn't have to have any actual hard science in it because it's the reaction to that science can be the thrust of the story. And
Yeah.
that's what I think Simak does well, and lots of other authors as well. What's here? Jenny saying I did that with my copy of Jurassic Park, watched it and rewound three times in one day. My parents were sick of that film.
Yeah, that's what Kane did with A New Hope.
You see, I would never disagree with that comment, and not many people would understand why.
No, I agree with that comment. I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't my gateway into science fiction, um, but
No, 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 sci-fi. Okay, in this case,
oh,
sci.
sci-fi. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I just assume when somebody says sci-fi, they mean science
I
fiction.
know, but that's what I said. I wouldn't disagree with that comment at all.
Yeah, I see. But I know what Gola Madib is saying there. It was for a lot of kids. It wasn't for me though. I think Tron was my weirdly enough was my so that was like the beginning of my interest in science fiction was watching
And,
Tron.
and the actor in that was in Babylon 5. So there you go. Brian says he's got to go. Have a good Brandy.
Bye,
It's
Brian.
probably 35 years, but Splinter isn't that bad. Jenny saying bye. I watched the 80s Dune movie because of Star Wars and read the book from that.
I
Okay, well,
watched it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, the I can understand the watching the movie, yeah, and then going, it can't be this bad. The book's got to be better than this.
See, my dad was a science fiction and a fantasy guy, and so he had Dune in the house, and so I read Dune when I was 10 years old. But like I had also watched the movie because, of course, my dad wanted to watch the movie, so I went and saw it with him. So
Bill was saying was reading SF about 10 years before Star Wars existed.
yeah, so get Star Wars. Well, Bill, you're a generation ahead of me, so that makes absolute sense.
Jenny grew up on Labyrinth, Willow, and Legend. Explains why I'm a fantasy
All
girly.
I love all three of those. I own all three of those on DVD, and I totally get it. Like I'm with you for those things.
Tom Swift. Yeah, those are fun. They're juvenile. They're not. I wouldn't call them. I guess. What? Oh, see, my brain. I can't think of young adult. They're not. They're juvenile. They're not young adult. They're juvenile. Science fiction, and he makes gadgets. It's a Edison aid kind of storyline. A teenager. So
I'm not familiar with it.
no, they were big. They were written. There's two series, sort of two different ones. There's, if I remember right, the early ones are the early 20th century, and then it was revamped again later in the 30s or 40s or 50s. I can't remember now. Bill's probably more maybe memory's better, more familiar with it than mine. Probably. I don't. It's so long since I read any of them, but they'd be kind of neat to. I remember the little hard covers. They look like the Hardy Boys, hard covers, like they're the
Yeah.
same style where they're printed covers, and they were little printed hardcover books of the
Interesting.
later Tom Swift ones.
Interesting.
So, but yes, I remember when Star Wars came out, everybody was talking about it, the kids at school. I never saw it. I didn't see it until the early 80s.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
I went to the movie theater to see the first one, but I was too young to remember that. Um, and the only one I really remember seeing in the movie theater was Return of the Jedi, and it came out. I don't know. I don't know what year did that one come out. I don't know. I was 8 or 9 or 10. I don't remember what year it came out. I think it came out in '83.
which what?
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I know I was 8, 9, or 10. I was in there somewhere. That's the only one I remember seeing in the theater. But I remember seeing Tron in the theater before Star Wars, and I remember being absolutely enthralled by this being inside of a computer, the world of being inside of a computer. And I was like obsessed with like movies and stories that had to do with being inside a computer world after that.
Gola Muad'Dib said, my mom had a ton, I think it is, yeah, old science fiction fantasy books from the 60s, 70s. It's also exposed reading from her collection. First saw Star Wars in 1978. Yeah, you see, I wasn't. I think 78 was probably the first time I ever saw a movie in a movie theater, a cinema. But that was, and I can't remember which one was first. They were probably within a week of each other. The original Superman film with Christopher Reeves and Moonraker. So those were two that I saw, but I can't remember which one was first. I was reading Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, then discovered Tom Swift in the late '60s. Yeah, because they you probably picked them up because they look the same. Like that's the thing. The books had the similar look to them. All the Star Wars films were out before I was born. Never got to see them on the big screen.
What
Lucky
about the
you.
special editions? The special editions, they put those in the movie theater. I saw those in the movie theater when I was older. Did you see those?
I actually went to see Return of the Jedi. I saw that in actually cinema because I was dragged to it.
I saw all of them in the movie theater because I was not going to miss out on that.
I didn't watch it the first like it was probably while it was out after a long time because I hated lines or cues to get into the films. The only time I've queued for anything that I didn't mind and was book sales. Uh, don't think our cinema did those. Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's a bummer.
oh, did they put? I didn't realize that they put the special. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Back in the theaters, I thought they would have just put them directly to DVD, but
Oh no, they made a big deal out of those special edition um, movies, and now you can't even get the original ones. Like my VHS, copies of Star Wars are the originals. They're not special edition, but like you can't even buy those anymore. Because I was gonna replace my originals, and I couldn't find them. You just can't even find your all you get is the special edition now.
there's a really good DVD or video sort of Blu-ray channel on YouTube here. His name is Spencer, and it's a line from Star Wars that he uses. This something crusade, some idealistic crusade. But
Oh, damn full idealistic crusade.
yes, that's the name of his channel. And
Okay.
he's really good. Like he's got like all the VHS versions of Star Wars and all this stuff, and the DVD versions. And he goes through and he tells you which ones are better for sound, for picture, and all this stuff. He's really good at this. Or if you
Oh,
want anything like that, he does it for um, um, well, for a lot of stuff, but he likes James Bond, and he goes through all the stuff for James Bond as well.
oh.
I know Cineworld is reshowing a lot of older films to try to try to and get people back in. Oh,
Yeah, our movie theater here has been doing that too. In fact, they had Wrath of Khan on the big screen, and I
Rack,
was all
Rack of Con.
Wrath of Khan.
Oh, I thought you said Rack.
Oh no, no. I was all pumped up to go to the movie theater and see Wrath of Khan because I don't remember seeing that on the big screen. But I was all pumped up to go see it, and then I forgot it was going to be in the movie theater. I missed it. I was furious. But yeah, Jenny, our movie theater is doing that too. I think you're right. I think a lot of movie theaters are doing that to try to get people to come back to the movies.
Well, if they started putting silence or 30s and 40s films, then that would pull me out to go. So yeah, older films. Golo Maudib says first reading through the Dunes are like picking out every Lucas took from Dune.
A lot of people say that. I don't see the similarities. I would like for somebody to go over a list of the things that seem like they were taken from Dune that are in Star Wars, because I'm like not getting it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say it, but yeah, I've only seen, I think the first three once each, so I wouldn't know. I don't remember. I saw Big Al. Hi, Big Al. I saw Wrath of Khan the other year when it was showing after an anniversary re-release of Star Trek. So good on the big screen. Yeah, I saw that on the big screen. I think that was the first. Yeah, that had to have been the first Star Trek film. And I saw most of those. I remember which one it was, The Undiscovered Country, where Christopher Plummer was playing the Klingon. And he kept quoting stuff over and over, and I never was a huge fan of Christopher Plummer. Was it Christopher Plummer? But anyway, the Klingon there was.
You mean Christopher Lloyd?
No. The Undiscovered Country.
Oh.
Not Christopher Plummer, but anyway, the Klingon that was quoting stuff. And I said in the theater, I remember I'm going, I wish he'd shut up. And I said it loud, and people were, shh. But then literally 30 seconds later, McCoy says to Spock, I wish he'd shut up. And I thought that was perfect. And I didn't know that was happening. It was my first time seeing it.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, it's Christopher Plummer, I guess it was. Yeah, I think it was Plummer, yeah.
I was thinking you were talking about Christopher Lloyd and
I can't remember which one that was in. Yeah, I know which one you mean.
The Search for Spock? Was it The Search for Spock?
Yeah. Yeah, and every time I see him, all I'm thinking of is Taxi. Is his character in Taxi. That's all I think of when I see Christopher Plummer for some reason. So when he was a Klingon, I'm thinking of Taxi.
I always think of Back to the Future because that was like really my first clear memory of Christopher Lloyd in anything. But Gola, yeah, TNG, it's the best one in my opinion. It's the one I grew up with.
I can't remember his character's name in Taxi. Jim? Was it Jim? But he was basically a burnout drug addict, and but was a fabulous character. And that also had somebody that wound up on Babylon 5 as well, that series.
Well, I remember seeing Taxi a couple of times, but I don't really remember the show that much.
But yeah, it's I did see the Star Trek ones, but yeah, that I think that. Oh no, wait a minute. Where was a Voyage? No, Voyage Home might have been
the Voyage Home was the one with the whale. The whale.
Was that before or after Undiscovered Country?
It was before Undiscovered Country. Undiscovered Country is the last one of the original movies.
Okay, that's that. Yeah, I did see that. So that was the last one I saw in the cinema. So because wait a minute. I did see the Generations one because I cheered when Captain Kirk died. Yeah, I remember cheering when Captain Kirk died. So I did see that in the cinema. So yeah.
Well, I saw technically all of the Star Trek movies in the movie theater, but the first one I remember seeing in the movie theater was The Voyage Home. That's the first one I remember seeing in the movie theater.
That's number 6, I guess. Yeah. Even he played Bester, Alfred Bester, and one of the best evil characters on TV. And I remember seeing him at a convention. I think it was in Manchester. I think it was, and I got him to sign a Bester photograph. And he didn't seem like he was very happy to be there at all. He just wasn't engaging with anybody, and I just says, "Oh, I hope you can come back. Like there's more for the character to do." And he was just going, "No, no, he's tired of it. He just doesn't want to do it anymore and stuff like this." And then he sort of looked at what he was signing, and he was like, "Oh, you mean Bester? You mean Babylon 5?" He goes, "Oh yeah." He thought I was talking about Chekhov.
Yeah.
And then I spent the next half hour talking to him about Babylon 5.
Nice.
So because he just didn't seem to be engaged at all. But then when he realized it was Babylon 5, it was pretty good. It was the same. It started with Bruce Boxleitner, not with me, but my brother, I guess, was talking about he saw him in Toronto and got him. They wanted them to sign a whole bunch of Babylon 5 stuff. And so they were pushing the second Tron movie at that time, right? Because he did a guest star, I think, in the second Tron. But they were saying that you could only get 2 things signed. So my brother was trying to sneak this sort of in, and then like his handler saying, "Oh no, you can't do this." And then Bruce Boxleitner says, "It's not Tron, it's Babylon 5. I'll sign as much as he wants." Bill said he should dust off my VCRs. So you'll have the original, I guess, if they're the original VCR VHS.
Yeah. See, that's what I have, Bill. But you know what? I don't have a VHS player anymore. The last one I had broke, and I never replaced it. So
these are the voyages of the Starship Skywalker.
Oh God!
But what is Picard's first ship name?
The Stargazer. The Stargazer.
Okay. I thought Sky was in it for somewhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, the original Star. So he's got the original Star Wars VHS tape.
I know when I remember
anybody who's sorry.
No, okay, go ahead.
Anybody who's interested in the difference of these, go to Spencer's a channel, the Damn Fool. What's it called? What's it?
Damn Fool Idealistic Crusade.
Thank you. and you'll find all Star Wars stuff in there if you're interested in it. Oh, sorry, Brandy, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know what I was going to say.
Yeah, before Babylon 5, you remember Bruce Boxleitner best was Scarecrow, Mrs. King. What I remember him from was the TV series How the West Was Won. That's where I first saw him. And because I think he got a start. I think John Wayne, there's some story with him and John Wayne. I think they were acting together in something, first of all, or he was pointed out by John Wayne. But yeah, Bruce Boxleitner, I always thought of him as a Western actor. So, and that's why a lot of people say, science fiction is just a Western. So, he anyway, it's just that's where but I never watched Scarecrow, Mr. King. For some reason, it didn't do anything for me. For some reason.
I remember seeing a few episodes of it.
But that's his big one. And then he did a few others, I think, but he was actually when they redid, and I don't know which one, because apparently they've redone Twilight Zone twice. Okay. He played in one episode that I remember watching, and I think was he playing, I think, the President of the United States at that time in the episode. But there was a lot of Babylon 5 references in that episode. And I don't know, and I kind of wonder, I bet who wrote this, because it was J. Michael Straczynski, and I never followed it up, and I'd forgotten about it until now. Because there was Babylon 5 references. and I know JMS wrote some episodes for one of the Twilight Zone reboots, but I don't know which one it was. I never liked either one, but anyway.
Is that the end of the comments?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I should hop off of here then. We've gone an hour and 20 minutes anyway, and my phone's gonna need a recharge. And I want to try to record some more YouTube videos today.
So are you starting this now or today?
I'm starting this evening. I'll be starting this evening.
Yes, great maker. And you got to know Babylon 5 lore to understand that.
Yeah. I got partway through season 2, and that's about as far as I've been able to make it.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Yeah. Well, I've got to finish this one first, either tonight or tomorrow, and then I'll be starting on this. So, do you have any sort of schedule for this, or?
No, Brandy and I just, talked about it and decided that when we'd read it, we do the thing where we put our page number and then make our comment. And then that way, if you haven't reached that page number, you know not to listen to that comment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to start that tomorrow probably. I can't.
I need to get a Voxer group going for that. We haven't even started a Voxer group for it.
Well, who else is doing it?
I don't know. I know you, me, and Randy Ray, and somebody else told me that they were going to read it, and I don't remember who it is now. So I need to. If it was you, tell me so that I can put you into the Voxer group.
I asked Matt to see if he wanted to do it, but he'd read the first one and he just he didn't want to get into anything sort of that long, I think, at this point.
Yeah. Well, I cannot remember who it is. Somebody else did tell me that they were going to read it too.
So yeah, feed me. Her phone needs to be fed. Feed me.
Yeah. I really need to start remembering to charge my phone up all the way before I go onto the live.
I always plug in my thing. Yeah. Well, when is the next stream? Is it next week or I don't know?
I work next weekend. Yeah.
Okay. So I have to find somebody else.
Yep. Bye, Jenny.
No, I'm saying hello.
Oh. Oh my
God. I'll see if I can find somebody else because it's too early to do the Project Pope. Oh, I just want to say the Project Pope thing. If anybody wants to join in, feel free because we got more this month. Well, there's you that's going to be reading it, and Ira at SF Words of Wonder is going to join in with it too.
Are you still using the CIMAC group? Is the CIMAC group still going?
Nobody seemed to be engaging with that, so I've just left it. I haven't used anything with it.
Is it still up though? Is everybody still in it? Because I'll probably use it.
Yeah, Matt has left, I think, but I think everybody else is in there. But probably if it starts being used again, you'll see people probably flee, most likely. So, but yeah, so it should be a really good live stream because they'll have Aaron's reading it. So there's Aaron, you, Scott, so 3, 4, and there's gonna be 5 of us if Ira if we can organize everybody together. It'll be a big live stream, but it should work because it's one of the longer books of CIMAC, and it's not that long. It's only 300 some pages. But
well, I should be good because I don't work any more weekends after next weekend until October. So
okay, yeah, because we should be able to find somewhere a Saturday near the end of the month. But we'll talk about that. So Jenny's saying bye, Andrew's saying bye. So bye, everybody.
Bye.
It's goodbye from me and goodbye from her. Never mind.